Good evening, beloved ones. Thank you so much for joining me this evening here on Charting Your Course. I can't seem to get my camera cooperating with me this evening, but hey, what else is new, right? I hope that you have had a wonderful week and that as we begin to move into the month of October and come closer to the end of the year, that you are considering what your objectives were for this year, the year of the magician, and we were talking about that consistently, about how we need to plan what it is that we wish to accomplish and work toward those goals. And we are now in the season of autumn, where the leaves are falling and we see the process of change going on. We see things that were once green turning into colors of brown and gold and oranges, and we'll continue on that process. So we know that in our own lives, we're going to be going through some transition, some transformation. And we have been discussing the 7 stages of spiritual unfoldment, and that is the pilgrimage that we're on at this particular point. And so we're going to be talking about the 3rd stage of spiritual unfoldment, which has to do with key 17 and deals with the function of meditation. We established that the 1st stage of spiritual unfoldment had to do with realizing that we are in conscious bondage and that we have the power to make the changes that are necessary in our lives. And we established very, very clearly, I hope, that we do not have any adversaries who are wishing us harm or trying to make our life more difficult, that the universe is doing its best to work in harmony with us, but we have to work in harmony with the laws in order for the universe to be of assistance to us. So we are working toward the fulfillment of reaching a higher level of consciousness by really now beginning to master the whole idea of how meditation is the key for us to reach those higher realms of understanding and to open ourselves to inspiration and revelation, and to prepare ourselves for change, to raise our vibrations in such a way that we can truly feel that we are in tune with all that is. And when we do feel that we are in tune, then we can begin to see the changes occurring in our lives that will truly make a difference. We have talked about the fact that we are on a fool's journey here, and that our objective is to fulfill to the best of our ability the potentials that we came equipped with in this lifetime, that we brought with us with our knapsack on our back as we are moving forward. And many times it feels that we are at the edge of a cliff and we're not sure where we're going. But if we keep our sight ahead and really focus on that divine light that is always trying to guide us and show us the way that we need to go, then we can easily find our way. It's when we become fearful and we lose our cosmic confidence that we get misguided by our own direction. We want to be living our lives with the divine GPS. That's what our objective is, right? So we know that with this first stage, the chains that are around our necks are chains that we can ourselves remove. We are only in bondage because we put ourselves in bondage by our lack of awareness. And the second stage of spiritual unfoldment had to do with realizing that when we begin to make a change in our lives, when we change our thinkings, we then attract that divine lightening that is going to help to destroy any false concepts that we may have about our lives and also our belief system. And so we have to do a total reconditioning of our thinking, so to speak. And really, as we're falling out of our false understanding, as we're falling out of the tower that we have built around ourselves that is on very shaky ground, then we can prepare ourselves to begin anew. And so we begin anew through the practice of meditation. And this whole idea of meditation is really crucial to understanding how we can bring about the changes that we need. I was reading a very interesting book today in a coffee shop at Unity Church. I went to First Unity Church in St. Petersburg today. And there was a wonderful book about writing with the right and left hands, and how most of us are right-handed, and we know that the left side of the brain, the analytical part of the brain, is the part that controls the right side of our body. And so this book was talking about, and this is something that I have done off and on over the years, is to practice writing with the left hand. And when you practice writing with your left hand, you are tapping into the right side of the brain, which is the part of our brain that deals with our creativity. That is where our storehouse of all information resides. We just have to learn how to tap into that right side of our brain, which then connects us to the divine mind. It's very interesting to note that the famous painting in the Sistine Chapel of God reaching out to Adam and to bring him to life, to have that union. He reaches out, the divine figure reaches out his right hand, and he touches the left hand of Adam. And again, that left hand controls the right side of the brain, that side of the brain that we actualize when we meditate. So we're going to be talking about how we can tap into that right side of the brain. We're going to be talking about the fact that we are now in the age of Aquarius, and what exactly does that mean? We're working with key 17 this evening, which is called the star, and it is associated with the sign of Aquarius. So we're going to be talking about the sign of Aquarius and what that means for us practically. As I have told you, when we are studying astrology, we're not looking to see or believe that we are trapped in any kind of predestined situation. Astrology, from a mystical point of view, is a blueprint that really helps you understand how you were equipped when you came into this world. And many times I've mentioned the analogy of the Christmas cookies and how you make one big batch of Christmas cookie dough, but you cut it into different shapes. So you may have a star, you may have a Santa Claus, you may have a reindeer, you may have a gingerbread man or a gingerbread woman. That's what human beings are like. We're all made of the same stuff. We're crafted differently, and we come with different talents and different potentialities. And that is what we look at when we are studying astrology from a mystical point of view. So this evening we're going to be talking about Aquarius and what it means that we are now in the age of Aquarius and how that can assist us, and what the faculty that we see in this image of the woman kneeling. And you see 7 stars, and they represent what are called the 7 interior stars. And you can refer to them as chakras. But the truth of the matter is that when you are talking about chakras, you are talking about the motion that you see. I give the analogy of a drain. A drain is created or designed so that water can flow through the pipes in a plumbing system. So when you pour a bucket of water into a sink and you see the swirlings, that is the motion of the water, but it is not the drain. Once all the water goes through, then you can see the apparatus of the drain. And so it is when we're talking about chakras, we are seeing the energy that is emanating from the organs of the endocrine system. And so we want to really look at the endocrine system and the organs of the glands, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland, the thymus gland. All of these glands play a major role in our moods and in our health. They secrete certain hormones into our blood system. And so that is what we have to begin to learn about. We're given this equipment, this physical body, and we know more about our cars than we do our physical body. So as we talk about these interior stars, we need to understand that there are organs that are the actual generators of this energy, and the chakras are just the side effect or the light energy or the motion that we see. And so we need to get very, very clear about that, because at some point we will be talking about healing techniques as we continue to go through the major arcana. And there are certain cards that relate to certain kinds of healing. And every single key is related to a part of the body. And we haven't really gotten deeply into that, but we are now going to have to get closer into that. So I hope that you will stay with me as we go through this adventure this evening. And I would like for us to begin, as always, by putting ourselves in attunement, by doing a short meditation. I did not get any response from you about the deep belly breathing that I was teaching you last week. I know that it takes some work, and it's something that you may not have done before. But as you know, if I don't get a positive response from you, then I don't continue to do something, because if it's not serving you, then it just really doesn't have any value. There's something on my screen there. So we will just do our regular meditation without the deep belly breathing unless you let me know that you found that valuable or that you want to continue to work to develop that. Because truly, the breathing is the secret key to having powerful experiences in meditation. And the first thing we do when we come up on the planet Earth is take a deep breath and life begins. And the last thing that we do is exhale our final breath and leave this earthly shell behind us. So I've been trying to help you understand the importance of doing the belly breathing. So I will just do a quick review with you about the belly breathing, and then as we proceed into the meditation, you can do it if you like, or if you just want to breathe as you normally do, I will give you that option. But I don't want you to ever be able to say, well, Francesca didn't tell me about the importance of breathing correctly and how that can really help me in my meditation. So I want you to put your feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap, palms down. But actually put your hands on your belly. And I want you to exhale. And when you exhale, I want you to suck your stomach in. Now, people think when you take a deep breath, you should suck your stomach in and they breathe like this, but you're not making more room in your abdomen for breath. So when you breathe all the way out and hold it out for a few seconds, when you breathe in, you will see that you will automatically be breathing from your belly. So let's do that a couple of times. So breathe all the air out through pursed lips and suck your stomach in like this. And hold it out, hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. Now take a deep breath in. And you should have felt the air filling up your belly. Let's try it for a second time. Breathe all of the air out of your abdomen through pursed lips. Sucking the stomach in and hold it out, hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. Take a deep breath in. I hope you got that air into your belly. Let's try it for the third and final time. So suck your stomach in and blow all of the air out. Hold it out, hold it out, hold it out, hold it out, and take a deep breath in. And now just breathe normally. Now that is deep belly breathing. It's done in Qigong. It's done in various Rosicrucian exercises and in many mystical operations, let us say. The retention of the breath, either in or out, is key to learning how to control the breath and use it to create energy, to vivify the body, or to relax the body. So this is why I am attempting to teach you this. And it's up to you whether or not you want to do this. So let's just begin to go into our meditation. Put your feet flat on the floor, palms down on your lap, and let us begin to take a few deep breaths. Forgive me, I'm going to get some water here. So you just take a few deep breaths and begin to relax your shoulders. begin to relax any tension that you may feel in your shoulders. As a matter of fact, just kind of wiggle your shoulders around and see how that feels. And wiggle your toes and just get some, twist your ankles around for a little bit and make sure that your feet and toes and your ankles are not holding any tension. So that way you can go deeper into meditation. So continue to breathe deeply. You may close your eyes if you wish. And just allow yourself to begin to sink into your chair or into the sofa or into the bed, even if that's where you are. And close your eyes if you like. And I want you to focus your attention on your left foot. And I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in and visualize a pool of warm, silvery light beginning to flow around your left big toe. Continue to breathe in and out deeply and feel that silvery light moving over to the second toe of your left foot. Take a deep breath in. Feel that light flowing over to the third toe of your left foot. Take a deep breath in. Feel that energy moving over to the fourth toe of your left foot. Deep breath in. Feel that warm silvery light flowing over to the fifth toe of your left foot so that now all 5 toes are surrounded by this warm, silvery white light. And every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve in your 5 toes on your left foot are relaxed. And take a deep breath in. Feel that warm, silvery white light flowing into this ball of your left foot, flowing through the sole of your left foot and coming up to the back of your heel and covering the top of your left foot. And feel it surrounding the ankle of your left foot. And feel that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve in your left foot is in divine order. And feel that energy surging through that left foot and ankle. And give thanks. Now focus your attention over to your right foot and feel that warm silvery light surrounding your right big toe. And take a deep breath in and feel that light flowing over to your second toe on your right foot. Take a deep breath in and feel that warm, silvery, white light with the consistency of water flowing over the third toe of your right foot. Feel it moving over to the fourth toe of your right foot. And take a deep breath in and feel that light completely surrounding all 5 toes on your right foot, so that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve within those 5 toes of your right foot are filled with that light, and all is in divine order. Feel that light now flowing around the ball of your right foot, seeping into the sole of your right foot, flowing all the way up to the back of the heels and the top of your right foot and surrounding your right ankle, so that now both your left and right feet are filled with this warm, silvery white light, and every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve is in divine order, and give thanks. Now allow that light to move up into your left and right calves and penetrating your left and right knees and flowing up into your left and right thighs, flowing around the left and right sides of your muscles that you are sitting on in your chair, and feel that warm white silvery light all the way up to your waist, so that the entire lower half of your body, from the tip of your toes up through your legs and knees and thighs and all the way up to the waist, are filled with this warm silvery white light, so that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve is in divine order, and give thanks. Take a deep breath in and allow that light to flow up your spine, all the way up through the medulla oblongata, which connects the spine with the head, so that this light goes from the base of your spine all the way up to the back of your head, where there's a little indentation right in the back of your skull. And feel that light flowing down the left and right sides of your back, feeling every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, nerve, and nerve ganglion within the spine and both sides of the back, and give thanks that all is in divine order. Take a deep breath in and allow that light to now flow down your left and right shoulders into the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the wrist, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand. Feel that energy flowing into the little finger, ring finger, middle fingers, index fingers, and thumbs of both your left and right hands. And affirm that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve is in divine order, and give thanks. Now take a deep breath in and feel that warm, white, silvery light completely surrounding your head. Feel it flowing over the left and right hemispheres of your brain and penetrating into the pineal and pituitary glands, the cerebrum and the cerebellum within the head. Let that light flow into your eyes and flow back into the optical nerves behind the eyes. Feel that light filling all of your nostril passages. Allow that light to move through and flow into your left and right ears. And feel that light flowing through your teeth, tongue, and gums. And swallow down that light and allow it to bathe your vocal cords and larynx. And let that light surround your thyroid and parathyroid glands that are right at the base of the neck, like a little bow tie. And give thanks that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve is in divine order. And give thanks. Take a deep breath in and allow that light to now flow into your chest. Let that warm white silvery light fill your lungs. Feel that light surrounding your thymus gland situated in between your lungs. Allow that light to flow through your diaphragm and your stomach. Feel that light flowing around your rib cages and penetrating your chest and breast so that every single cell, tissue, muscle, bone, and nerve is in divine order, and give thanks. Take a deep breath in and let that light continue to flow down into your large and small intestines. Feel that light bathing your spleen and pancreas and liver. And feel that light flowing around your back and penetrating your kidneys, so that every single cell in all of these organs is filled with this light and in divine order, and give thanks. Now allow that light to continue to flow down into your reproductive system, flowing through all of the regenerative organs within your reproductive system. They serve more than simply being instruments of physical reproduction. There is a mystical aspect to this reproductive system, and give thanks that you have been granted the privilege of being a co-creator of life. And take a deep breath in now, and I want you to center on your heart and visualize that warm, silvery white light surrounding your heart in an aura of light that is your pericardium, within which your heart sits, and feel that light penetrating your left and right ventricles of the heart. Feel it penetrating the aorta at the top of the heart. Feel that light flowing through all of the veins and arteries and opening up any blockages. And feel that light flowing through your bloodstream. And give thanks that all is in divine order. Now allow yourself to feel a scintillating energy surrounding your heart. And with each heartbeat, the light grows stronger. And allow the light from your heart to begin to not only fill your body, but fill the room in which you sit. Let that light from your heart fill your home, so that that light touches every single individual that is in your home. And know that this light travels. Know that this light has power. Know that you are a light worker, and that you are bringing about change in the world through your consciousness. And now radiate that light out as it travels through your city, because this light travels. And visualize that light flowing through the waters of the great seas and rivers. Feel that light flowing over the 7 continents. And now visualize yourself rising until you can see the earth as a blue globe of light floating in the void. And project that light of love and hope and healing out to the world, so that all of those who are in need of peace can feel the peace in your heart. All of those in need of healing can feel the healing in your heart. All of those in need of love can feel the love from your heart. All of those in need of clarity and cosmic confidence can feel it radiating from your heart. And give thanks for this opportunity to be of service, and feel the presence of those around you who are doing this work with you, because there are always souls meditating to bring peace and love and hope to the earth plane. And so as you join in with that energy, allow yourself to know that you are part of a chain of light that is encircling the globe and bringing hope to the world. Know that we must be the hope we need to see in the world. And let us always remember that all is always in divine order. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ consciousness return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So be it. So take a deep breath in and begin to bring yourself back into the consciousness of your physical body. And begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Move your shoulders, your head. And feel now that your body is relaxed. And know that all is in divine order. And give thanks. So, take a deep breath and bear with me as I change this chair. I don't know what's going on this evening. Please forgive me. Every time I think I have this all figured out, guess what? Something happens. And I don't know what the problem is this evening. I'm going to try this, see if this makes a difference. So bear with me for a second. See if that is better. Not much. Yikes, I just cannot figure out what is going on this evening. But as we know, this is the life of Francesca. Okay, is that a little bit better? No, it's not. What is going on this evening? All right, that might do it. That might do it. That might do it. That might do it. Nope, that doesn't do it. Oh. I'm going to be exhausted by the end of the night, but I will figure this out. You know, I'm determined to do this. So let's just get into the work ahead. I'm not in my comfortable chair, so I'm going to be fiddling a little bit to try to get into a more comfortable position where I can operate more effectively. And it just doesn't want to happen for me this evening. I just don't understand. But as we always say, it's all in divine order one way or another, right? So I'm just going to do this, and I'm actually going to stand up. And I'm going to switch my chair, which is crazy, right? Sorry to do this in the middle of this, but I am so uncomfortable, I can't even think at the moment. And I'm going to put my regular chair back here and see if I can get that to work for me. And again, please forgive me. It's been working for years now, and all of a sudden it just doesn't want to work for me the way it has been. So that's okay. You know me, I'm determined. Oh. Okay, I think I can manage here now a little bit better, at least a little bit better. Ow. Okay, let me see here. What is going on today? I love these challenges. It's like, okay, Francesca, get over yourself. Get over yourself. I don't know what in the world is happening here. But you know what? In a minute, I'm just going to allow myself to... Oh, what is happening? Good Lord. Good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. Well, you know what I think I'll do? I think I'll just go ahead and put the camera back the way I used to do it, maybe. Move the camera more to your right. Okay, there it goes. Thank you, Laura. You're always there when I need you. Okay, I think I can manage that way. I think. Yeah, I think I'll be able to survive. There you go. All right. I can do it, my beloved ones. Don't worry. So let's get into the star key 17 here. And let's look at how we can come to an understanding about where we are right now with humanity and the changes that are going on within the world in which we live and how we can play a part in that. And okay. All right. I think I can do that. So we are now in the age of Aquarius. And I want to talk a little bit about the age of Aquarius because this is what this key represents. Aquarius. Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius is known as the water bearer. And it is often thought of as a water sign, but it is not. It is an air sign. And so I just want to read something to you from our textbook, High School Astrology, a textbook of ageless wisdom, from Granny Rainbow. Love her dearly, longtime member of BOTA. And she is also the one that was responsible for transcribing Jason Lauderhand's book Thursday Night Tarot. So she has been a long time initiate, and we're very, very grateful for all the work that she did. So we know that we have moved into an area now where humanity has increased its vocabulary. And so whereas yoga used to be a term that was not well known, now in gyms around the world, people are doing yoga, even though they're only basically doing it as exercise and not really getting into the deeper mystical aspects of it. It is assisting in the elevation of the consciousness of humanity, and we're very grateful for that. Tarot is now being used by psychologists and psychotherapists because our subconscious mind works in images. And even though the majority of people use the tarot for divination to predict the future, the mystical approach to the use of tarot is to study the symbolism and see how it relates to your divine design and how you can access your personal power, which is your privilege and your birthright. So few of us live up to our potential. And so through the use of meditation on the tarot keys, and Paul Foster Case calls them keys and not cards, because they are keys that can unlock secrets to a deeper understanding of how you are designed and how you can begin to develop your psychic muscle, so to speak, so that you can begin to flex your metaphysical muscle, is the way I like to describe it, and really get in tune with your intuition, and to allow your intuition to hook you up into the divine GPS so that you're not wandering around not knowing where you are going. Meditation is a way to get you in tune with that divine GPS, which will guide you in the way that you need to go. When someone goes to a tarot reader, and there are many talented tarot readers out there who have been born with a gift or have developed that gift of intuition, and they are able to penetrate some of those veils, you have the power to really work with your own life and learn how to access your own GPS that is connected to the divine GPS. Nobody knows you like you do. That's why you don't allow anyone else to interpret your dreams. Your subconscious mind has its own vocabulary based on your life experiences and communicates to you in a particular way. And so, even though there are basic general meanings to symbols, you have to learn the vocabulary that your own subconscious mind is attempting to use to communicate with you. That is the purpose of our work. Because you're just going to keep coming back here and doing it again until you actually learn how to use your intuition, how to connect to that divine GPS, and how to really discover the birthrights that you were given when you drew your first breath. Human beings are amazing. And just as we have 5 physical senses, we also have 5 psychic senses, and everyone can develop those 5 psychic senses and use them. And meditation is the way to get that process going. So let's talk a little bit about the age of Aquarius, because since this key 17 is represents the sign of Aquarius, and you see her pouring water, and we're going to get into the symbolism of that. Let's talk about the age of Aquarius. Granny Rainbow says, many prophecies in ancient cultures foretold an era of peace on earth in the distant future. These prophecies are coming true in our time, as the precession of the equinoxes inexorably moves toward the constellation of Aquarius. And so this age of Aquarius that we are now in is an era where we are seeing that there is a higher level of consciousness that is flowing through humanity. I have told you that each one of the physical planets exert energy, because everything is energy, and we are all affected by energy, but we're simply not aware of it. We are most aware of the energy of the sun because we can feel the heat. We are aware of the energy of the moon because we can feel that silvery white light when it shines when the moon is full. But all of the planets exert an energy. And that is why sometimes our phones get out of whack, our satellites get out of whack when there's planetary movements in a certain way. And so we want to connect these planets and these zodiac signs with energy, not with superstition, but with energy and understanding what these symbols of the zodiac represent energetically, so that we can relate them to our lives, okay? So Granny Rainbow says, Aquarius, the water bearer, is beautifully depicted in Tarot Key 17, the star. And there we have her. Mother Nature is pouring blessings into the inner world of mind and soul, the water, and unto the outer world of body and sensation, and that is the land. She teaches us to balance inner and outer equally. The great goddess embodies the life force radiating from the stars. The right angle formed by her leg represents truth. So let's stop there and take a closer look at this symbolism. So we see that her leg is at a right angle, right? And we all have heard about sacred geometry. And we know that the ancient Egyptians who built the pyramids were masters of sacred geometry. And that's why after millenniums, the pyramids are still standing. And so when we talk about number, we are talking about geometry, because it is said that God geometrizes. Everything is number, right? So we have reviewed the whole idea of the fact that there are only 9 numbers in the entire universe, and everything else is just a combination of those 9 numbers, and that 0 is not really a number because it has no value, but symbolically it represents all potential. So when we talk about the number 9, we're talking about completion, right? Because there are only 9 numbers in the entire universe. So when we're looking at these 90-degree angles here, It has to do with order. It has to do with precision, right? So just keep that in mind as we talk further about this age of Aquarius. I'd like to read you a quote from The Awakening to Zero Point by a writer by the name of Greg Braden. And he says, "The shift of the ages is the term applied to the process of Earth accelerating through a course of evolutionary change, with the human species linked by choice to the electromagnetic fields of Earth. The human aspect of the shift may be consciously facilitated, even accelerated, through the use of choice, free will, and emotion associated with the ancient wisdom of the human mind-body-spirit relationship. This is the purpose of the shift, the ultimate balance and healing of the earth and all the forms that are capable of sustaining the energy of that healing. This is the shift of a new way of expressing the human form through the lens of higher frequency, a Christed energy. This is awakening to 0 point, the collective initiation." And this is why that I'm always telling you that 0 represents the potential of things. That's what 0 represents, is that potential. And think of an egg. The egg has long been a mystical symbol because it represents the potential for new birth. We all eat eggs, most do, and we know that if we put an egg within an incubator or allow a chicken to sit on that egg will then begin to undergo a transformation, and from that egg will emerge a breathing being, which is a baby chick. So the cosmic egg represents the potential of man to evolve and change and grow. So keep that in mind. That is why when we do our meditation, we see ourselves surrounded by that light. And there is an old saying that God geometrizes, and I'm just going to show you a few of the symbols. We know that this is the tree of life, and we'll be talking more about that. We also know that this particular Fibonacci sequence has to do with what's called the golden mean. And when we look at a nautilus shell, that is exactly what we see. This pattern is all through nature. And so as we enter into this age of Aquarius, we're entering into this age of a shift in the consciousness of humanity, and we have truly seen that happening. So now, what do we do, and what role do we play in this whole sense of evolution, in this age of Aquarius? We know that each key has a Hebrew letter associated with it, and the letter that is associated with this key is Sadi. And if you look at that key, and I'll bring it up closer when I figure out how to do it, there it is. It looks like a hook, right? It's like a fish hook. And so the faculty of meditation is like going fishing. And I always tell you that that which you are seeking is seeking you. Divinity is seeking us. We were created as an expression. Nobody likes to play alone. It's boring to try to play alone. But when we have someone with whom we can exchange, that's why the whole process of raising children, and those of you who are parents know this very, very well, to see this little being that is evolving and changing gives you such a delight, and you can see yourself in that child, and you have brought this child into the world, and you're responsible for raising this child. And so there is a love and an excitement in that power of creation, because as a parent, you assist not only in the physical creation of a human being, but also in the spiritual creation of a human being. And many of us who did not have loving parents are now trying to raise ourselves. We're now trying to be our own parents because we did not have those parents who loved and supported us and could teach us in a way that would assist us in moving forward. So meditation is the function that is attributed to this Hebrew letter. And meditation has been defined as an unbroken flow of knowledge in a particular object. Paul Foster Case explained it this way: it is a fishing for truth in the depth of subconsciousness. The Hebrew word zadi means literally conception and is a transference to things mental of the idea of physical conception, and that's what I was just talking about. It refers to the budding or germination of ideas. Germinal processes in both plant and animal organisms go on in the darkness. They are, moreover, rudimentary. What we are considering here, therefore, has to do with the early stages of mental unfoldment, with the genesis of ideas rather than their full development. So that when we are meditating on a particular situation that we're faced with, when we are trying to find our way through a maze sometimes of how we can move to a higher level of understanding about ourselves or about those in our lives whom we love, or about situation on our jobs or organizations that we may belong to, it's all the same process. We have to get still and get quiet and allow that still small voice to speak to us and guide us through what may be a temporary mental or emotional darkness. I hope that makes sense to you. The Aquarius, the water bearer, is an airy fixed sign. It is not a water sign, as most people believe. And we know that the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And they all represent air, and I left my window open. So what you see behind me is the wind blowing through the window. What a night this is. Well, at any rate, so the air, the symbol of air, has to do with mental activity. But meditation is a very concentrated energy. When you begin to meditate, you limit the field of your attention. And that allows you to begin to make room for revelation. I answer a lot of questions on Quora.com, and actually last week I was notified that I am one of the top 10 writers on meditation in Quora.com. Actually, I was number 2 last week, which was pretty exciting. But I think that part of that is because when I speak about meditation, I'm speaking on a universal level rather than a particular technique, so to speak. But just to try to put it in plain English about how we are capable of developing a laser sharp power of concentration through the study of meditation. And so Aquarius is an air sign. And when we see, and let me see if I can grab key 10 very quickly. I was trying not to use too many keys this evening, but I may have to dig some out if I can quickly. Let me just look here for a second. Please forgive me. When we look at key 10, which is not in my hand at the moment, but I can pull it up from our Paul Foster Case book, because I think it's important that you see this. When we look at key 10, which is known as the wheel, and we have discussed this already, we see that in the center, this wheel that we see is actually how can I say this? It's actually a symbol that can help us understand change, and it has to do with alchemy. And if you actually read the wheel, you will begin, you see the R at the very bottom here? Rhoda means, you have T is here, T is here. Tarot, T, A, move it over to A, which is over this way. It's over this way, A. Then we go down to R, O, and then back to T, right? And that's tarot, T-A-R-O-T. Tarot, and then you have O over to R, up to A, there, and then up to T. Aura means speaks, and then law. What this wheel says is tarot speaks the law of nature. And so what we're seeing in this wheel are the processes of change. And when we look at these little wavy lines here that look like water, that actually represents air, not water as we think of it. So when you look at the sign of Aquarius, it is the water barrier, and you see the wavy lines, but it actually means air. So Paul Foster Case says about this that the Aquarius symbol is one of the many hermetic representations of the axiom, that which is above is as that which is below. Aquarians are said to be intuitive and fond of occult research. They succeed in pursuits where steady mental application and intense concentration are necessary. So that is part of that Aquarian nature. Each one of the zodiac signs has within it an expression of natural law. And so we all express a part of that law in one way or the other, and often we just don't realize it. So this intelligence, we know that each key has an intelligent, and this key is called the natural intelligence. And the Hebrew of the adjective natural is from a root that literally means to sink. The connection with the fish hook, which must be dropped in water to catch the fish, is obvious. So natural intelligence, or awareness of the hidden qualities of nature, is arrived at by meditation. So that is the great secret. It is through the study of meditation that we are able to discover those secrets, by really zeroing in and limiting our concentration. People often ask, why is it that I can't empty my mind? You don't have to empty your mind. You can't empty your mind. Your mind was designed for thought. But through meditating on symbols, you teach the mind to concentrate on one thing. We have a monkey mind that likes to jump all over the place, right? Swinging through the trees of all our thoughts. But when we use the power of concentration in meditation, then that monkey is focusing on that banana that we're telling it to focus on. And so my reason for trying to teach you that belly breathing is that when you're focused on breathing correctly, you're focusing your mind to assist you in breathing correctly. So it is highly unlikely that it's going to be doing a lot of wandering when you are focusing on your breath. So that is why the power of true yoga is in the breath. When you are focusing on the breath, you are meditating on a natural process that will then serve as a key to unlock those higher powers. I want to show you another thing about this key 10, this wheel of fortune. And this is important because you see these four animals here. They are references to the biblical living creatures that Ezekiel talks about in the wheel. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the wheel. That is where this symbolism comes from. And when we understand that, we can begin to see that this is an alchemical process. And the two wavy lines that we see down there on the bottom of that wheel has to do with that Aquarian energy. So we see that the man, and this is interesting also, the man, this is the sign of Aquarius, is the man here. Then we can see, let me use this other hand here. So we see the man is the sign of Aquarius, right? And then diagonally, we see the lion. Then we have Scorpio, which is a water sign. And then we have Taurus, which is the bull that represents earth. So we have air, water, then we have the earth and the fire, which is what the Leo represents. And the Sphinx that we see on the top of the wheel Where have we seen this deep blue before? And what does that blue represent? It represents the subconscious mind. And it represents the high priestess, which is that prima materia, that pure mind that we have the access to. Our soul is pure. We come in this world as pure souls, but we have a personality that we also bring with us. And our soul personality is expressed through our physical body. And so this whole idea of development is not the development of the soul. It is the development of the expression of the soul, which is our personality. And our personalities change with each lifetime. And so the work that we are doing, the great work that we are involved in, is evolving our personality through our experiences and really working to help our personality shine as a light in the darkness of the world. That is our objective. So let's go back and look a little bit more at this symbolism that we have here in the sign of Aquarius. Because this symbol, if you meditate on this symbol, you're going to be looking at all the different elements that are present in this symbol. So when you look at this symbol, you see that she is kneeling with her, let's see, the whole, I'm looking for, let me look in my book here so that I can read you what Paul Foster Case has to say about this, because I think that he is so succinct in his description that we can count on that. I was going to go in another direction, but I think it's important that we really deal with this symbolism. So this, I don't want to get into the interior stars at this point, but this is what I want to get into as we look at this key. In all of the keys, most of them, we see this purple mountain in the background, right? And this purple mountain that we see in the background is representative of the great work, that process that we are going through. So the plain truth, Paul Foster Case says, is that the first rule of occult teaching is that the pupil should be told almost nothing that he can find out for himself. So this is why you have to meditate on these keys. And that is what we are working toward. You see right there in the background a bird sitting on a tree. And that bird on that tree or that bush is Isis. Is called an ibis. It's called an ibis. And this is an Egyptian bird that was sacred to Hermes the magician. And I actually have seen this bird in my yard poking its long beak into the ground in order to get the nourishment from the green grass. So I see this almost every day. And it says, Paul Foster Case explains that its long bill is a natural fish hook. and perched on a tree, which represents the human brain and nervous system. It symbolizes the act of bringing intellectual activity or the thought process to rest by concentration. We have to stop thinking in order to meditate properly. And when we stop thinking, truth unveils herself to us. Now, what he means by stopping to think is that you begin to concentrate on one thing and you begin to limit. You limit the process of thought. You stop your mundane thinking, because when you meditate on a symbol, then you can begin to laser beam up to a higher level of consciousness. So it's like they're little fishes that are always swimming in front of your face, right? You're down in the ocean and these beautiful little fish are swimming, and you can say, oh, look at that fish, or look at that fish, or look at that fish. Or you can focus your attention on something that you're trying to see. If you're looking to see a stingray in the water, or you're looking to see a porpoise in the water, you're going to keep your eyes open. You're going to look beyond those swimming fishes and really focus your attention on what you're trying to see. And that is actually what meditation does for us. It allows us to be able to focus in that way. And it's not always easy, but it is absolutely necessary that we learn how to do that. Then when we are able to work with this energy, you'll see that the color that surrounds this is violet. And on the color scale of energy, we know that red is at the most base energy. And then it proceeds up to, orange and yellow and green, and it goes up until it hits violet. And that violet, we talk about ultraviolet, right? That's a very high level of vibration. And so we can use color around us, which is, that I'm always using violet, or I'm using a red violet, in order to help me really stay attuned to certain energies that assist me in my meditation. And even when I'm doing my work, if I'm writing and I'm sitting by my purple curtain, I can feel that energy, and it really, really helps me to understand what energy I need to be tapping into. It reminds me, it makes me feel calm, and that's why I always used to wear a lot of purple when I went to my Rosicrucian meditations or Martinist or BOTA. I always wore that violet or that purple to keep me in that energy while I was doing my work, because it was very, very important for me. So that is why this key has this color for us. Now, I want to talk about the stars, but maybe I should talk about the body first. And please forgive me, I'm just a little bit off this evening with all of this running around. We're trying to get the chairs to work and all of that business. This I will say to you, that when we say we want to center ourselves, that's exactly what we're doing. We're using the power of concentration to draw our attention into one single area. And that is why the physical act of using a symbol or a mantra can really help us significantly in moving very easily into that peace of mind, so to speak. And the more we practice, the better we get at it. The whole idea of the water jars, I want to talk about the water jars, and I'm not seeing where this is what I promised to share with you. And I've kind of been putting this off, but I'm going to deal with it now. You'll see that in the center is this big yellow star, right? And then you see 7 smaller stars around it. And these smaller stars represent the chakras. And this great yellow star signifies the cosmic radiant energy which is sent forth from the various suns and fixed stars of the universe. And you see that this star has 8 points. And so it is the same geometrical construction of the Wheel of Fortune. And we also see these 8-pointed wheels or suns on the dress of the Fool. If I can put my hands on that very quickly, I will show you that on the Fool here, you see those wheels of 8 represents the same thing. So this big yellow star has to do with that cosmic energy. And when we are able to understand that this star represents the solar energy, which is what we're always working with. The inventors of the tarot, Paul Foster Case says, used innumerable devices to remind us that in our mental and magical work, we are using an actual force which has definite physical forms of expression. Meditation modifies and transmutes the personal expression of this cosmic energy, and that personal expression is what we term nerve force. So I was telling you that even though we use this term of chakra very lightly, the chakras actually refer to different organs and nerve systems within our body. And so Paul Foster Case mentions it this way, and I know that you may not be familiar with these terms, but your subconscious mind, we're seeding your subconscious mind now, so that when we talk about this down the road, you will already have this knowledge available to you. So don't get frustrated if you don't know it right now. And for those of you who do yoga and who do work with the chakras, then this is going to help you connect on a deeper level to understand that it is the nerve centers or plexuses in the body that are the real sources of the power, not the swirling itself. It's like the difference in the filament in a light bulb is really the origin of the energy, and the light that we see reflected out is a result of the workings of the filament within the light bulb. And so it's the same. That's why I gave you the analogy of the drain. The swirling of the water that we see is not the drain. The drain is the apparatus that, moves the water through the pipes. And the swirlings is just a result of that energy moving. So Paul Foster Case explains these white interior stars as representing the chakra. He says they are the metals of alchemy and the planets of esoteric astrology. So we know in terms of esoteric astrology, we're talking about the sun, the moon, Saturn, Mercury, Mercury. What am I missing? Saturn, Mercury. I just lost it. I'll go back to it. No, let me stop and do it. The 7 planets, the moon, the sun, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Mercury, and Uranus. Those are the 7, right? So here we go. And when we're talking about the chakras, there's a sacral plexus, which is Saturn, and it's the Muladhara chakra. We have the prosthetic ganglion, which is below the navel, which represents Mars, which is the Svadhisthana chakra. We have the solar plexus that represents Jupiter. That's the 7th planet, which represents the Manipura chakra. We have the cardiac plexus, right, around the heart, which represents the sun, which is the Anahata chakra. Then we have the pharyngeal plexus, which is Venus, or the Vishuddha chakra. We have the pituitary, or the post-nasal ganglion, which represents the moon. And we have the pineal gland, representing Mercury, with the Sahasrara chakra. And so these are what these 7 planets represent. But you can see these chakras are connected to various parts of the physical body. So when we talk about healing through the chakras, what we're really talking about is stimulating those various organs and nerve centers within the body. The chakras are the reflection of that light. So when we say that a chakra is blocked, what we're really saying is that there is a problem with the flow of the nerve energy in the physical body. And so that is why Rosicrucians work with vowel sounds in order to stimulate the various parts of the body, those nerve plexuses, to stimulate the endocrine system, which is the pituitary gland and the pineal gland that secrete those hormones that affect our moods, like serotonin, for instance, or melatonin, which have to do with sleep. These are all very important symbols that we must really learn about the physical body in order to really get the real power of understanding how to work with meditation. Do not mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon. That is an old saying that usually has to do with the avatars. People worship the human beings. They worship the finger that is pointing them toward divinity or pointing them toward God. So it is the same with the chakras. The chakras are not the origin. It is the nerve centers that produce that energy. So when you're healing, you got to start to work with these nerve centers, and that will assist you. So let's look at the woman here, right? She is Mother Nature. And in Egyptian mythology, she is known as Hathor, Mother Nature, beauty. Paul Foster Case says, in some respects, we may identify her with the Empress. In others, she corresponds to the High Priestess. She is also the woman who is in Key 8, who tames the lion and opens his mouth. For meditation is largely the utilization and direction of the powers of deduction and imagination peculiar to subconsciousness. The knowledge gained in meditation is gleaned from the imperishable record of the memory of nature, symbolized by the scroll of the High Priestess. So let's just take a look at that very, very quickly. Oops, and I just dropped that, of course. But here is our High Priestess. And she has, under her arm, she has this scroll, right? You see the scroll that she has? And that scroll has the letters T-A-R-O, Torah, or laws. That's the laws of the subconscious are right there. Everything is written down in your subconscious mind. And so meditation is the tool that's going to allow you to really penetrate what is locked inside that subconscious mind and to open up that pathway to the divine mind, which will then lead you to the revelations and epiphanies that we are after. So when we look at her, we see that she has 1 foot on water, right? And this represents, Paul Foster Case says, the pool is the universal consciousness or the reservoir of cosmic mind stuff, which is stirred into vibration by the act of meditation. So that's that pool that we are focusing on, the mind stuff. This is indicated by the stream of water flowing into the pool from the right-hand pitcher, which we see Mother Nature holding. It indicates direct modification of the cosmic stuff apart from the sensory or physical experience. The stream flowing from the other pitcher divides into 5 rivulets, which flow back to the pool along the ground. They indicate the fact that meditation also modifies sensation and unfolds higher and subtler types of sense experience. So a lot of times on Quora.com, people will ask me, why do I hear this buzzing in my ear? Or why is it that when I close my eyes, I see a blue or violet light in the middle of my forehead? They notice that sometimes they will feel a tingling in their fingers because they're doing all of these deep breathing techniques. And when you do these deep breathing techniques, you are flooding your circulatory system, your blood, with oxygen, which then makes your whole body begin to tingle because you are nourishing your body through the breath. The breath is the life. We know that Dracula, isn't it, that says the blood is the life? The blood really is the life. But in order for that blood to be powerful, it must have oxygen. And if you are not getting enough oxygen, your blood cells are not that bright red as they should be. It is the oxygen that gives the color to the blood. So we need this oxygen. And the more oxygen that we can get into our bloodstream, the more healthy we will be. I have suggested to you several times that you begin to practice on seeing how long you can hold your breath. Because when you hold your breath, you're oxygenating your system. And the more you expand the capacity of your lungs, the more deeper you can go into meditation. And I promised that I would speak to you about Kundalini Yoga a little bit, and I will. But just keep that in mind. It's all about the breath. So as we're looking at this key, and we're looking at this pool of cosmic stuff, and we're looking at these 5 rivulets, which represent the 5 senses. Our 5 senses cease to be the focus of attention, and our psychic senses start to kick in. That's what happens when we start meditating. We see that the left knee of Mother Nature is kneeling on the earth, and that's supporting her weight, right? And her right knee is bent at a 90-degree angle and is over the pool. And her right foot is resting on the surface of the water, right? So thus the earth, Paul Foster Case explains, supports her weight, but she balances herself by water. That is, sensations derived from physical forms are the main support of meditation, but these are balanced by experience gained direct from subconsciousness. That is what we are seeing here. So this picture shows us the 3rd stage of spiritual unfoldment. It is the calm which follows the storm, depicted by Key 16. It is the period of quest and search. The light is dim like starlight, but these stars are distant suns. Thus it is written, when you have found the beginning of the way, the star of your soul will show its light. So it is through this power of meditation that these interior stars, these energy centers, become energized through meditation. And so Rosicrucian used vowel sounds as a way of stimulating the glands of the endocrine system and those nerve centers and plexuses. And that is also why the use of mantras are used. The use of mantras are used in order to stimulate that higher level of awareness. So sound is vibration. Light is vibration. So we can use sound in order to raise the vibration, not only of our physical body, but it can also attune us with those higher cosmic vibrations. So that is why sometimes you will hear certain sounds, sometimes like a buzzing or the spinning of a wheel. Don't get frightened. You're just beginning to connect on a higher level. So do not be afraid. Now, we know people talk about raising the Kundalini, and everybody is so interested in finding ways to raise this Kundalini and to go to a higher level of consciousness. The safest way to do that is through meditation on symbols, and the tarot keys provide you with a very safe method of moving to that next level and stimulating the Kundalini. And let me see if I can find what Paul Foster Case has to say about that, because Kundalini can be very, very dangerous. I was at Unity Church up in St. Pete today, and I became a student of the science of mind long before I joined the Rosicrucian Order or any of the other initiatic orders. And Unity provided yoga classes, but we were taught Hatha and Kundalini yoga together, which is very, very rare. So because we were in an environment that was spiritually charged, and we were being taught by someone who understood metaphysics and who was trying to make sure that we stayed grounded, trying to make sure that our spiritual ascension was our goal, then we were able to have amazing experiences in that class. And after our teacher died, I did go to several other Kundalini classes with different teachers, and there was no comparison. And I said, this is much too dangerous for me to be playing around with, because once you've been opened up properly, you cannot just go to anyone. So please be very careful in your pursuits and understand that the tarot keys will help you. Paul Foster Case says, using the tarot keys as centers for concentration will arouse the activity of the corresponding centers without any danger of physical congestion. And I know that we've heard stories about people who were playing around with Kundalini and basically blew their brains out, in the sense that if the energy is released too quickly, it short circuits the nervous system. Kundalini as is described as being like a coiled serpent at the base of the spine. And I know that you are aware of the biblical images of Moses carrying a staff or a rod with a snake coiled around it. That is representative of that Kundalini energy, which is the energy that allows us to direct energy for healing and for enlightenment. But we must be very careful. Paul Foster Case says, remember, this is mental angling. We're back to that fishhook again. This outline and its explanations are only guideposts. They are intended to tell you how to make use of tarot. Yet further investigation and study must supplement what you will find in these pages. Now, this is from the book, The Tarot. And the reason why people join esoteric orders is because they are seeking the secrets of the instruction that is only available to initiates. Everyone is not given access to this information because they are not serious about their spiritual ascension. They're after power. They're just after having psychic experiences. They're not looking to be of service to the world, to be healers in the world, to be those instruments of peace in the world. And so that's why these secrets are kept secret only for those who are serious about their spiritual evolution and of being of service to humanity. So that's what Paul Foster Case is talking about. He also says that when Eliphas Levi, and he was a great occultist, who basically said if you were trapped on a desert island and all you had was a deck of tarot cards, you could unlock the secrets of the universe. That's what he says. So this is what Paul Foster Case is referring to. When Eliphas Levi promises the acquisition of universal science from the tarot, he implies that the students must use the keys. You have just now been referred to Patanjali's yoga aphorisms, and I will post tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to do it tonight. Just a little blurb about Patanjali and the yoga aphorisms. But the book of yoga aphorisms by Patanjali, who was a mystical initiate, basically explains the psychic powers that can be attained and gained through meditation. So the tarot pictures, Paul Foster Case said, are keys to the liberation of such powers by the same method. Behind their symbols are practical secrets of occultism which cannot be put into words. That is what this work is all about, is working with this symbolism. And so all of the work that we have done up to this point with symbolism, talking to you about color, about musical notes, about the planets, about the zodiac, has been to prepare you to begin these steps of spiritual unfoldment. So now we're in that third stage of spiritual unfoldment, which relies on the mastery of meditation. Meditation is the key that will open the door and unlock for you your own powers that can be used to serve the universe. I just want to read you to close from the Book of Tokens, which are tarot meditations written by Paul Foster Case. You have a link to the Book of Tokens, and I will post it again so you have an updated link, and I will either do that tonight or in the morning so that you can read this meditation on Sati throughout the week, and hopefully that will help you in beginning to open up. And as you go to sleep every night, ask that you may be connected with your subconscious mind, that your subconscious mind may begin to communicate with you as you sleep through your dreams. And please begin to write your dreams down. Even if you only remember, I was in a car, write it down. Because through the process of writing it down, you are then pulling it from that invisible realm and bringing it down on the physical realm. And so your subconscious mind will begin to understand that you are trying to download this information, that you want to bring this information about the experiences that you are having into your conscious life so that you can examine it and understand what secrets are being told to you. So this is a part of the meditation on Sati. Thinkest thou, O seeker of wisdom, that thou bringest thyself into the light by thine own search? Not so. I am the hook cast into the waters of darkness to bring men from their depths into the sphere of true perception. Entering that sphere, they must die to their old selves, even as a fish cast upon the land must die. Yet do they die only to live again, and what before seemed life to them now weareth the aspect of death. Men think they seek me, but it is I who seek them. No other seeker is there than myself. And when I find mine own, the pain of questing is at an end. So, beloved ones, know that divinity is seeking you out. That through the power of meditation, you can grow closer to the beloved one, and you can hear that small, still voice much more clearly. Know that divinity is always trying to seduce you. I've been telling you that for a very long time. Now you can begin to understand what I meant. Divinity is always trying to get your attention. Divinity wants to be your beloved. Divinity wants you to develop that relationship that will allow you to access who you truly are. So know that divinity is seeking you out. And as you sleep, seek out divinity. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and putting up with all of my frustrations with trying to get everything together this evening. There's always something, and it's always a test for me of my patience, of my persistence. And so I welcome it, and I always battle through, and I thank you for your patience. So please know that you are loved, know that you are appreciated, and know that all is always in divine order. You know I love you. Mwah.